So let's look into this index object a little bit more. Okay, so index objects we have two. Okay, there is the labels, index labels of the rows, that's an index object, and then the column names, and that's an index object as well. Okay, so it is an array or a sequence of labels used as index labels, and column names are internally converted into what is called an index object. So once you give list of names, once you give the list of index labels, they are converted into index objects. Okay, I have df1. Let's look at what we have in df1. df1 state, year and population, and let's create a new index. So df1, let's create the data frame. Okay, it is data coming from the dictionary data that we created. Okay, and then we will provide a user defined index Okay, so here we have a data frame. Okay. Now if you want to peel off the index, well, I shouldn't say peel off, if you want to copy the index, df1 index. Okay, if I do that, then it will make a copy of the index labels and put it into df1 ind. So df1 ind, okay, so that contains these values, and it is an index object, and the values of the index labels are objects. Okay. So now we can access the index labels like it is a list. So if you say d1 ind 0, okay, so that will give you what that index label is in that position. Now if you ask for, well, now index object, so index object is immutable. Okay, so you cannot, when you take the index here, you cannot go and change the index of any position. If you want to change the index, then you have to change the index here in the data frame, and you have to give new values, and if you want to change only one of them, then you'll have the same value for everything else and different value for the one you want to change. So you have to change the whole thing. You can't go and change the index, like if you do ind, okay, we have 0 there. Suppose we want to change that to a z, okay, then that's going to give us an error. Okay, so that's this should be, index object is immutable. Okay. And the in keyword can be used to check whether a label is present in the index or not. Like say, you can say a in df1 ind, so it will give you answer true. Yes, it is there. If you say z in df1 ind will return false. It's not there. Okay. And you can do the same with the columns. Okay, we didn't take the column names and put it into an index form, but we can still use it like this. State in df1 columns. So if you say zip in df1 columns, okay, it's going to say false. It's not there. Okay. Now, unlike set, the index labels can have duplicates. Say, for example, suppose if we say L1 is A, B, B, B. Then if I create a data frame from data and use index equal to L1, then you see we have index A repeated 3 times, index B repeated 3 times. And if you try to access those rows, and we have to use location LOC for that. We will talk more about LOC and ILOC in a little bit, but for now if you say df1.lock and give just one reference, and that you don't have to do access for that. If you do that, then it will be, the default is that what you're saying is row index. So the index labels, so this is going to give you all the rows where the index label is A. Okay. And you can iterate over index objects. Right. So we have df1 ind, right? That's an index object. So, okay, that's not this index, this is the old index. So we can say, all right, let's go ahead and how do you iterate over? When you're iterating over, you need to use the for command or while or some of the loop code. So for x in df1 ind, then you say print x. Okay, so it's going to put that. Or you can directly do this too. So like for example, you say for x in df1 index. Okay. You don't have to create an index object and then iterate over it. If you already have an index object, then you can iterate over it. But if you don't have an index object and you don't want to create an index object, then you can directly access the index labels in this way. And now of course it's going to give you A, B, B, B because the index labels for df1 we changed it to A, and B, B, B. And you can do the same with columns. So for x in df1 columns. So this will iterate over the column names. Okay. So there are 3 columns, state, year, and population pop. Okay. Okay, so now